7 secrets Toto Wolff doesn't want F1 fans to know. Much has been made into gold by Toto Wolff. In the paddock, he is somewhat legendary for leading Mercedes to 7 straight championship doubles while also having one of it, if not the greatest. Business careers in Formula 1 history. But even though the Austrian has been in the spotlight for a while, many followers are still in the dark about some things. Welcome back to our channel. In this video, we will be taking a look at the top 7 facts about Toto Wolff that you may not have known. Number 1. Start in Austria. On January 12, 1972, Wolff was born in Vienna to a Polish mother and a Romanian father. They, however, did not grow up in the affluent family, in contrast to many others in the F. When he was only 8 years old, he watched as his cherished father battled brain cancer. Then, when Toto was a teenager, his father suddenly went away, leaving his mother to raise him and his sister. He admitted that his upbringing was difficult. While he was young, my father had a serious illness and he passed away when I was just a youngster. There weren't many resources available. It is challenging if you grow up in a city where you can see that in front of you, but you don't have it yourself. Toto was expelled from a private school because his mother couldn't pay his tuition fee. My mother raised us. She worked as a doctor in Vienna, and there wasn't much of a financial foundation. She was nevertheless able to enroll us in a private school in Vienna since she believed that learning languages were crucial. However, because the school fee had not been paid, we were therefore excused from class. Because my school fees weren't paid, I had to return to class to pick up my luggage and endure the humiliation of packing my bag. Number 2. Wolff's involvement in motorsports. Toto Wolff, unlike the majority of racing drivers nowadays, has little interest in cars when he was younger. But at the age of 17, he accepted an invitation to watch a buddy race at Germany's Nuremberg Rings track, and the idea of becoming a racing driver was born. I wasn't interested in racing, but a friend of ours took my friends and me on a weekend trip to Amsterdam shortly before I obtained my driver's license. Don't ask what we were doing there, but on the way home, Philip Peter, a very close friend of mine, was participating in the German Formula 3 Championship at the Nuremberg Ring. He was a front-runner who later drove for Audi's works. I caught the bug as soon as I entered the paddock and began to look around the vehicles and stand on the grid. At that moment, I declared to myself I want to be a racing driver. The FIA GT World Championships and other significant long-distance races in Sao Paulo, Silverstone and Spa, which took place in the early 2000s, were his next step. He shared his class victories for Porsche, BMW, and Ferrari over several years with teammates like Karl Wendlinger, Diet Equester, and Philip Peter. He created history in 2006 by winning the inaugural Dubai 24 Hours race while donning amusingly blue Red Bull overalls, partnering the latter pair and German racing great Jens Joachim Stuck. In 2004, you never would have predicted that this young man would go on to become the successful Mercedes team principal and Red Bull's fiercest adversary. He began his motorsport career on the racetrack, but he was just as passionate about rally driving. And it would offer much more entertainment in a day than an endurance race, which mainly involved waiting around. Toto reasoned at the time. He was late to the Randy stages, but he picked up the material quickly, and Toto, as well all know, didn't do anything half-heartedly. From July 2006 through late 2013, he participated with Raymond Bamslager's elite rallying team Burr and drove their cars the majority of the time. His second place finish in the Austrian Championship behind teammate Baum Sklage was the period's high point. With his aggressive driving style and global perspective, Toto rapidly won the admiration of the crowd. They saw him as someone who pushed himself to the limit and learned from his mistakes. He's positive that I could have made a living off of rallying. Number 3. Entrepreneurial achievement. Even as a teenager, Wolff had entrepreneurial potential. In the 1990s, he launched his first company by selling candles at an anti-racism demonstration in Austria. He clarified that it was a silent protest to carry a candle while walking in opposition to racism. I reasoned that there would be a few thousand people there without any candles or lights, but that was only the start. Toto decided to launch his own investment company when many other drivers chose to spend their money on trips in fast vehicles. Toto, who had some business expertise in the banking and finance industry, made some spectacular investments in 1998 that fundamentally altered his outlook on money. While it was still recuperating from the dot-com disaster in the early 2000s, Toto's investment company March 15 made significant investments in technology, software, and the internet, making him a multimillionaire. Number 4. Investments. Due to his financial success, Wolff was able to diversify the funds at his investment firm by making investments in several various industries. Toto was given several noteworthy possibilities, one of which was the chance to invest in the financially distressed F1 team Williams. 2009 saw Toto Wolff's investment company acquired a stake in the Formula 1 team driven by Frank Williams and Patrick Heads. Williams and Head had been the only shareholders from the company's founding in 1977, and selling out a chunk of the business had long been opposed. The team's financial limitations led to the change in tactics. Despite this, Williams continued to be a famous rival in the world of S1, and the investment marked the first time that Wolff was in the foreground of Formula 1. Number 5. Marriage with Susie Wolff. Susie and Toto have been married for 11 years and currently reside in Monaco, making their union the 5th marriage in the country. Susie Wolff first expressed her desire to drive a race car when she was 8 years old. Her dream was to race in Formula 1, and she finally got the chance to do so in 2014 when she drove for Williams in the Free Practice 1 at the British Grand Prix, making history as the first woman to do so in more than 20 years. One of the most successful female race car drivers in history is currently regarded as Susie Wolff. She raced in the DTM from 2006 to 2012, but her time as CEO of the Formula E team Venturi Racing is when she achieved her greatest fame and glory. Susie started karting when she was 8 years old, and in 2009 she was recognized as the best British woman driver in the sport. With a development driver position, she advanced through Formula Renault, Formula 3, and DTM by the age of 6. Wolff described the dynamics of the motorsport marriage with racing in their blood, with Williams and F1 serving as the apex of her racing career. Number 6. Unsuccessful Formula E projects. Toto has made investments in several different motorsport championships in addition to Formula 1, the most recent of which is his Formula E partnership with Mercedes. In 2019, Mercedes made its Formula E grid debut. Nick de Vries won the 2020-2021 Drivers' Championship right away. Formula E has been dubbed the future of motorsport, but Mercedes and Toto Wolff feel that Formula 1 is a better fit for their development of electric vehicles. Unlike their Formula 1 effort, the victory did not serve as a launching pad for further fame. Mercedes has confirmed that they will leave the series after 2022. Wolff thinks that there is now a chance for Formula E to redefine itself, maybe with a larger emphasis of independent manufacturers. It was undoubtedly a setback for all electric championship. There are always opportunities to reform during upheavals. Of course, it was bad that 3 premium manufacturers left in one fell swoop, but perhaps Formula E just needs a little bit of reset to move forward. Other groups, perhaps more exclusive ones, will expand as a result of their exposure. Number 7. Academic awards. Toto Wolff has said that his management skills are largely as a result of his academic education, even though much of his success may be credited to hard effort and a little amount of chance. He received an honorary doctorate from Cranfield University in May 2021 in recognition of his achievements in motorsport. He came to the university to get his diploma from Professor Sir Peter Gregson, Cranfield University's chief executive and vice chancellor. "I'm very happy to be receiving an honorary degree from Cranfield University," Wolff stated after obtaining his diploma. "It's a remarkable occasion in part because of the excellent cooperation and partnership between Cranfield University and the Mercedes F1 team over the years, which I know will continue in the future as well. I never anticipated receiving an honorary Doctor of Science, especially after failing to complete my undergraduate studies in Vienna. I consider it a privilege and an honor to be acknowledged by such a prominent organization." Well, how many of these did you know? Do you have anything to add? That is all for this video. We will be back soon with another informative video. Stay tuned.